What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts apps. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the nerd. Alright, guys. So, obviously, we gotta talk about it because there have been leaks, there have been things going around the internet that was talking about the successor to the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2, basically the sequel. And different kind of things is going around, what the launch time is going to be. So many leaks leading up, going from last year, going into this year, to the point where there was finally one leak that came out this week that said that January 16th there will be the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, usually Nintendo, when it comes to their, the Nintendo Directs, they promote it and let you know that something's coming. And I didn't really see much of anything, so I was like, so how accurate is this date, Come to find out, January 16th, Nintendo released a trailer showing off its successor to the Nintendo Switch called simply the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, in this trailer, all we saw was basically the original Nintendo Switch being updated to this newer model, Nintendo Switch 2, with the new Joy-Cons, the magnetic Joy-Cons, I should say, the new kickstand, the different size of Nintendo Switch, and different kind of little bit of news that we got in there, and a little bit of tease at what a launch game could necessarily be. However, we didn't get no deep details that we wanted, because come April 2nd is when the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2 will be out, so we're going to get all the details. Now, this is a little bit off schedule for how it was back in 2017 when we got the reveal in the Direct in January, and then come March they released it. Now, what I thought was that probably that maybe it will be the fall that we get this, but I don't think Nintendo don't like releasing consoles in the fall unless it's already a hybrid console of what they already have selling already, i.e. the Switch Lite, i.e. the DS XL. Those kind of things came out in the fall. Whereas their systems usually come out in that spring, summertime. Is that correct, Quattro?
You do. You're right. They usually drop them earlier in the year so they can make the money throughout the year.
Yeah, so I was like, well, maybe it'll be a thing it'll come out in June. If that's true, that'd be great. That's about my birthday time, so I wouldn't even be mad at that. So, but right now, with the information that we do have, we gotta talk about this, Quattro. We really gotta get into the Nintendo Switch 2 because there have been some difference of opinions here, because I saw what you had texted me, and then you've been talking to people online. And so, overall, I am glad that we finally got some confirmation. It seems like most of the leaks that we got are true. So, we're going to get a more powerful hybrid handheld dock system in the Nintendo Switch. Now, I know I see people online that was mad that was saying there ain't really no new changes. There really is nothing new to what they were expecting. But I have a counter argument towards that, because the way I look at it is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to go so left field, Wii U, whereas where you were at, to the point where it's like, okay, the Nintendo Switch sold so well. It sold very well, especially during the pandemic. It sold very well. I don't know if it's at the PS2 pricing or it's close to it, because PS2 is still the highest selling system that they have. But Nintendo Switch is right up there, and it was a great hybrid type system, so I didn't expect them to do nothing completely out the ordinary. I still expected it to be a hybrid handheld / dock type system. But from your opinion, from the Nintendo guy yourself, I want to hear your thoughts about the trailer and what is it that you were expecting, weren't expecting, and things of that nature.
So first thing I want to say is, to your point of, I understand that they normally release earlier in the year, but selfishly, economically, can you please save this to the fall for me? So we just got this today, and yesterday actually, whatever. This week, let's say this week.
Yeah.
And in the video, they said the Switch, the Nintendo Direct is going to be April 2nd.
Yeah.
So, it would be very hard for me. Yo, the Direct's going to be April 2nd. Okay. We're releasing in June. Why? No. That turnaround is very quick.
Now,
I feel like
they had a turnaround like that for the first Switch.
You're right. This is not unheard of. I just don't want it.
Okay.
Because obviously, one thing that a lot of people want to know, which they never announced, is price point.
I see some rumors about the price point, and it ain't looking too hot.
Right. If we're gonna assume where we're at in the current state of systems, how Nintendo systems are always relatively cheaper than the rest of the systems, because honestly, it does relatively less from apps and usually compatibility to like DVDs or Blu-rays. It's not like that really matters, but so much at this point for most, but still, it's something that's attractive for it.
Yeah.
We're assuming $400, $500, maybe at the high end $600.
Okay, it's not going to be $600. Okay. It's not, because I was looking at the rumors. It's not going to be $600 because right now what they're looking at is, according to the rumors. Now, once again, these are just rumors. These are taken with a grain of salt. That the standard would be $449.99, and then the Mario Kart bundle will be $499.99.
See, so off that, I would be okay. Are we talking a new Mario Kart, or are we talking about the same Mario Kart?
Now, Quattro, you know better. Now, you do know better.
So here's my problem with that. So that would make this the fourth release of this Mario Kart?
No. When I say you know better that they're going to put the new Mario Kart 9 in there. They already teased that. So
that video for Mario Kart, it looked very reminiscent of 8 Remix. I couldn't clearly see that as 9, outside than what a lot of people posted that they pointed out, that the race had 24 players.
Yeah, now, because I think that tease was shown on purpose, and I think they gave it could even be an old stage or something classic in the game like that, just to throw you off, because they want to showcase that. Because once again, you're not going to have a new system that comes out without any launch titles. You need launch titles for new systems, and obviously their bread and butter is always going to be their first party Nintendo stuff. You most likely we're going to probably get another 3D Mario. We're probably going to get the new Mario Kart 9 because it would be dumb. You talk about backlash of them actually trying to release a new updated Mario Kart 8. I mean, like, bro, we've been doing this for past 7 years. Like, we can't do this no more. So
that's why I asked, because I'm like, we've been doing Mario Kart 8. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wii U.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So Mario Kart 9 would have to be the one that they're probably teasing. They probably show footage of that, or even of Mario Kart 8 showing that, because once again, the whole trailer showed the old Switch going into the new one. It could just be like that's the old Mario Kart going into the new one. But I do have confidence that we're going to get Mario Kart 9 as one of the launch titles.
I can arguably see it as a launch title, but I can't think of the last time from release a console has done a bundle with a game.
You said when it's like fresh out?
Yeah, like the console comes, like you could buy a console bundle with a game.
PS5 did that.
It was a game bundled with it.
Miles Morales.
I didn't think that was the release of the PS5.
Because that was one of the Miles Morales, because the success of the first Spider-Man was on PS4. When PS5 first came out, the Miles Morales game was coming out. That was one of their launch titles that they had to go along. Because other than Astro's Playroom, if anybody got the PS5, that's the first game that you got on the actual system. Other than Astro's Playroom, Miles Morales was one of the ones that came right out with the PS5, because that's why it was a smaller Spider-Man, because it was a Spider-Man release title. They came out, was it 1 or 2 years after, or no? Because they came out about 3 years after the PS4 Spider-Man came out. So they have released that Miles Morales one with that. And I remember.
I'm glad you told me. I was actually looking up because I don't remember a launch game, a bundle with a system in a really long time.
And I think Xbox, it wasn't Horizon. I forgot what Xbox had. Xbox had one also. I really forgot which one. Because usually Xbox, when they release, so they come out with Halo. So that's what I've been used to.
Right.
When Xbox, comes out with, Halo. And then, remember PS2 had Little Big Planet?
I do remember PS2 had Little Big Planet.
Yeah, so they had that. Sega had Sonic. And, yeah, so this is not out the ordinary for when systems have a launch shot, because it helps sell that system. You can just come out with the system, but you need something to help sell a system that will be a first party type thing to show you the power of it. So usually the systems have their first party type things they come out with it. So Nintendo will do the same thing, and then that way it'll help you sell more of the bundles. Because if you see a Mario Kart 9 bundle opposed to, because I wouldn't just buy the Switch and then Mario Kart 9. I would just buy the bundle.
Because you want something to play with it.
Exactly. Because even when the Switch OLED came out, right? They bundled that with the new Metroid Prime that came out, that 2D side-scrolling one.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have it as a bundle, but it came out the same day. And it's like, okay, so if you want to see the power what the OLED screen can do, play this Metroid Prime on there. And are you damn right? I went and got the Metroid Prime with the Switch OLED. So definitely a Mario Kart 9, because I even think now once again, I was gifted the Switch for my birthday with Mario Odyssey. I don't know what the bundle was because I didn't get it when it first came out, the original Switch. Mm-hmm. But I do remember I got it with Mario Odyssey, so because they got the thing like that with me, so I can understand the whole bundle thing.
Okay, so if there's anything from what I remember is Switch, because I remember having the Switch at launch. Mm-hmm. I believe the first 2 games that was available at launch was Zelda and 1-2 Switch. I know that for a fact because I got 1-2 Switch myself. So if you release Mario Kart 9, more than likely it'll be released for the Switch as well. As Switch 2 and Switch 1.
I don't see it, because I was going to get into some of the features that we did see that I am kind of very happy to see.
Well, one of the big selling points for me in Switch 2 is something true for me of why I buy every Nintendo system. Exclusivity. I love certain franchises. It's only here. I'm getting that. Mario Kart is one of them. If Mario Kart 9 release and it only released for the Switch 2, that is a good idea. Because that would force people to buy the Switch 2. If you want to keep to play that series.
If you want, I would believe that, because, okay, so we're just going to jump right into this because I was going to build up to this. But the biggest selling point for me when I saw the whole trailer was the backwards compatibility. I love systems that have backwards compatibility because
that is a big thing for you. Yes.
Yes. And it sucks when they don't have it, and especially when but no, it ain't just the backwards compatibility. It's the physical, because I have physical games. I have physical Switch cartridges, and there's some things I just have physical, so they can play both physical Switch games and digital Switch games on the Switch 2, with the little asterisk at the bottom saying that not all games will be included, when it comes to the backwards compatibility. Now, once again, that automatically raises questions in my head of what does that necessarily mean. Now, I don't think it's going to be like, well, we're only going to play Nintendo's first party games. That would just be stupid. They're not going to do that. But I'm thinking something like Labo, Ring Fit, maybe those kind of things. Maybe they don't work on the Switch too, like they would on the Switch, because of you got the different analogs or something like that. that's a possibility. Something to cover their ass with. My biggest thing is, do we get an upscale from the new system with the old Switch games? If that makes sense.
Of in like graphic wise or things like that.
I'm talking about. I'm more on the level of performance. For instance, okay, and I said this in my reaction video, and I said, if I take the worst Switch game, which was WWE 2K18, right? If I
you sure it wasn't AEW?
No, well, see, the difference, other than massive opinion, AEW was, when it comes to gameplay, it worked great. It worked like, you know, say it was an updated No Mercy. But the only problem with AEW Fight Forever was content. It just ain't had nothing to do. You was like, after an hour, you're done doing everything already. You know what I'm saying? So you just played it for GP. 2K18 was one of the worst Switch games they ever made on there. And a lot of people didn't play it because they're not wrestling fans. I am, and I've always been dreaming the day of having a actual wrestling handheld. I'm like, so with that game being so bad because of the old hardware it's running on, if I put that in my Switch 2, does it amplify it to the point where it'll run better? That's is what I'm concerned about. So,
and I've said this to people, and this is why these certain things aren't necessarily a concern for me, and this is why I will arguably say I don't really care about them. When it comes to Nintendo, I play mainly first-party games. That is my bread and butter for the system. I'm getting this system for Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, Luigi, etc. I could go on. There's too many.
Yeah.
So when someone says upscale or better graphics or high resolution, me personally, this could be my eyes, I don't really see a difference. If I'm looking at Mario Odyssey, which I think is a wonderful game,
yeah,
I do, and I'm looking at I'll just use New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yep, I have that game too. It's pretty good.
Right, love that game too. Visually, I don't really see a difference. Yeah. Mario, look Mario to me.
Yeah,
what?
I get that. No, I get what you're saying, but this comment that I have would not be necessarily directed to first party games. Because you're always going to have, with any system, you're going to try to make sure your first party, your brand stuff is going to be fine. Look, now it may look a little bit crisper, but I'm talking about the upscale of when it comes to AAA games and third party games, which also help sell this system. You know, like, and especially for the games that, you know, that I play, or some of the indie games that I play also on the Switch, because no matter how you put it or how you slice it, the Nintendo has one of the greatest ideas that they had of having a console / handheld gaming. And it was because of the Switch that now more handhelds have been released, or handheld style games, and people is trying to get back in the handheld market, showing how great the Switch has sell. Now you got Steam Deck. Now you have the Aloy, I forgot what it's called. You got so many PC style handhelds. Then you got the PlayStation Portal, which just came out, which I recently got one, and I was like, oh, I'm having fun with this, but then it's like trying to get PlayStation back into the handheld market, because it just works, especially with how fast everything is moving, how everybody's always about. Switch has that thing down packed. So now you're gonna attract more AAA. You're going to attract more third-party people to bring these games on there, and it's like, okay, but obviously we may have to downscale a little bit because it's on Nintendo, but now what if you don't have to do that? Because the way they talk about this power is it's like right below an Xbox Series S, I believe, of when it comes to power that system has, and that's pretty good for a gaming handheld, not a PC handheld, a gaming handheld. So if that's the case, and we can put our old Switch games that we have in there, I'm curious to be like, okay, what they gonna look? What's the Marvel vs. Capcom collection gonna look like on Switch 2? I mean, it looks good on Switch now, But it could be something that's more crisp because we have a powerful deck. It's like this. I play Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. It looks great on the Switch, but it looks really good on PS4. That Gold Ranger vest just shines a little bit brighter. And I'm just like, well, and obviously, if you don't play those kind of games, if you don't play any of the other games that's beyond that, then that's not going to really affect you. But when it comes to the people that do play them games like myself, that is the concept I'm into. Now,
and that's why I can say I understand why that affects you and why it doesn't affect me. That completely makes sense to me. If you're looking for your third-party games to look great, I will be the first to tell you Nintendo was not that system. I'm not saying it looked bad, but it obviously looked worse. This is facts.
And once again, I'm just I'm a handheld guy, so I just want great stuff that I can take on the go with me. Like, will Batman Arkham Knight run better on Switch 2 than it is right now on the first Switch, even with the updates? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's also true. You're definitely one person that goes back and plays a lot of older games. You do that a lot. That is big for you. Mm-hmm. Whereas with me, I play a lot more. I played that then. What am I playing now?
Yeah.
So I get this. This does make sense.
Also, the things that it had going on, like that was just from the obvious features. Because I say, like we went backwards to go forwards. They have the new kickstand, which is more of like a U shape that shows that it has a little bit more angles for it to play, especially in tabletop mode, which they're still going to have. The Joy-Cons is one of the big selling points here because it showed that they had this little like magnetic click to it. And
so let me touch on both of those things, if I may.
Yeah.
First off, this is a better kickstand.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be real with you. I have to see it, and the reason why I say that is because I have the OLED. You still have the original. Okay. You still have the original Switch, right?
Yes, I do. I still have the original Switch.
That kickstand is trash in the original Switch. Trash.
And that's why I said this is clearly a better. Yeah. Clearly, if we're talking about kickstands from jump, Switch 2 winning. Because that looked like that could support the system.
But see, here's the thing.
I have snapped off my little, French fry of a kickstand.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Have you seen the one for the OLED?
No. Because I never got the OLED. And I never really played the OLED. I know of you having it. And I've seen it with you having it. So I've probably seen the kickstand that you have. But I can't recall it at this point.
The kickstand, is just like the Switch, except instead of like having it like a little U rail, it's a solid piece. And the whole back opens out. The whole back. So it's like the whole bottom back opens out.
Mm-hmm.
And it bounces like that. So it's a very strong very, very strong piece to hold the system up. It's just like, but now like the Switch 2 just took that whole back area and just cut the middle out of it, and it's not actually like a little U. So I have to see how strong it is, because I'm like, that OLED back was very, very strong, but compared to the original Switch, yeah, it's clearly better.
Well, quick question about your OLED compared to my Switch. Yeah. I know where the memory stick goes in my Switch, in that kickstand place. Where does it go in the OLED?
In the back. You just gotta pick up the flat and just put it in there. Same place.
Yep. Does that mean we can assume, obviously assuming, the memory stick will go still in a similar place?
I would think so. I would think so, because I mean they did show off because they even showed off a headphone jack. Now, granted, I'm old school, so I'm just like, absolutely. But there are people that's like, ew, headphone jack. I'm like, listen.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm just like, listen, y'all. I'm all cool with options because if this new Switch has Bluetooth, which it should, if it has like the Bluetooth for your headphones, then I'm gonna use my Bluetooth headphones. My wife already got me started on Bluetooth headphones, and I love every bit of it. But to have the option of a headphone jack, it's like, I love options, whether they old school or new school. So I love the options of a headphone jack. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that, because you think I give a shit? Anybody that you think I give a shit if you see me playing my Switch 2 and I got some wired headphones in there? Like, man, who the hell does he? You can make fun of me all you fucking want to. Guess who got the Switch, bro? Guess who's playing it right now? Fuck your phone.
That's gonna look hilarious though.
I don't care.
I get it.
You know I don't
it's
care.
It's gonna look hilarious though.
Bro, I have my legs crossed. Try me.
I can see you with some large, oversized headphones on your head, looking like a DJ. Connect to the top of a Switch too. Like, what is that grown man child doing?
Legs crossed, bro. Absolutely, I would do that. I'm just like, just because it has it, I would go get me some headphones, man. Over the headphones.
Now I will admit what this Switch, what the original Switch has, what Switch 1 has, I don't know what I'm ready to call it yet. What the Switch did have, which was annoying, which I did use, is the Switch chat. I don't know if you ever used it.
Never used the Switch chat.
There's an app on your phone that you download Nintendo, and you can talk to people also playing the game through the app on your phone. It just felt like an unneeded extra step. It felt like it took me back to when you were young, that like, yo, if y'all were somehow playing the game from not in front of each other, that you would call each other on your phone or on the house phone and talk to each other while you play. That's what it makes me feel like I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I never did any of the chat features in that, or even in my Vita. But I saw it, but I just never did that. One of the other things we got to get into also is them Joy-Cons. Now I know everybody's hoping that, please, if we can have like the alloy, like kind of like how the Nitro did theirs, where we don't got to worry about no drift. I'm hoping they use that kind of, I forgot what it's called, but I hope they use that kind of stuff for the Joy-Con, so we don't have no stick drift. They're bigger. They have this little, because they had a tease that we can be used using like a PC mouse, the way they was kind of like running across the screen and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm wondering if does this mean that when it's in tabletop mode that we can actually operate a Joy-Con like a mouse, like so to play like a PC style type of game. That would be quite crazy. Now I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not down anybody that is a PC gamer. I'm just not a PC gamer. But to have that option will be quite insane. Quite insane.
Yeah, that sounds like a function that'd be good for Big Brain Academy for anybody that plays that. I play that. I don't know if other people play that, but I do enjoy that game.
Yeah. The only downfall though is, now me and you, and this is another reason why I said that, because me and you play fighters a lot.
Fair.
I have a lot of fighting games on my Switch. A lot. I mean, from all the Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter to I play on the Marvel's Capcom Collection, Dragon Ball Fighters. And I do know there's teasing about maybe a different kind of Smash or whatever case may be. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Platform fighting games is not really my thing. I do love Smash Ultimate. I cannot take away from that. Y'all got me into that. But I still would pick any other fighter over a platform fighter, to be honest with you. However, there ain't no D-pad. Well, they probably released a D-pad controller for it also. Yeah. I'm just like, and now I got my Nitro deck, and I'm just like, man, you know, it fits into my OLED just perfectly. But now, you know, this Nitro deck can't fit this new Switch. So I'm just like, now I gotta wait.
No, it can't.
Huh?
No, it can't. Not at all.
Not at all. And I'm just like, damn, because I think the Switch itself, this new Switch 2, is the same size, if not a little bigger than the Nitro deck.
All right, so I want to tell you something I would like more clarification on when it comes to the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
So one argument that I heard is, since they look like they magnetically lock in, a lot of people felt like, oh, this is easier, so I won't have the problem of putting my Switch controller on the wrong way anymore.
How do you do that?
Listen.
How do you do that? You don't need to have a Switch.
Should I call somebody dumb? I don't care. I am. How dumb were you? How drunk were you? Where was the lack of attention that you were actively... I'm not talking about putting that little string on the controller.
You're talking about putting it on the system.
I'm talking about putting it on the system. With that being said, I think that's kind of dumb too. because they're symbols. But
my daughter, who's 5 years old, can put the Joy-Cons on the Switch the right way.
Right.
She's 5.
So that's why I was like, this don't come out as a balanced argument for me. Like, oh, it's easy. So, okay. So, all right. I want to take it back to, like we said, me and you. We play a lot of fighters. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I have the MVC2 and them on the Switch. I have Battle for the Grid on the Switch. I have Mortal Kombat on the Switch. Mm-hmm. I know how magnets work. It can't take but so much force to disconnect.
That's what I'm worried about. Because it got to be a strong. Because I did see like a little port that looks like it plugs into when it gets magnetized. I did see that. But my biggest question is, I'm glad you brought that up. My biggest question is, how strong will this be in handheld mode? I ain't talking about dock mode. I'm talking about when I'm playing. You got to understand. People with big hands like myself, and then as they're playing it, people who are big. Look, don't fighting games be aggressive. I know people. You know, when you play Breath of the Wild, you playing RC. They just get aggressive because you're gaming. But when you playing fighting games and you start panicking, and then your skills go into button mashing, that's a lot of stress on them Joy-Cons.
I don't know if y'all seen this, and this is gonna sound respectful, but not 100%. There's a little disrespectful. Mr. A&E got these gorilla mitts. Like, y'all don't know these hands. Like, I'm pretty sure he could punch a basketball in the face. I want you to imagine what I just said. Like, he has huge hands. His thumb is all 4 buttons. It's crazy. So I understand the buttons are a little bit bigger now. Let me tell you, I didn't have this problem. I understand why he did. I didn't have this problem. Mm-hmm. I've seen him play games when you mash a button. This controller is doomed. If it just pop, you just put it. Who has played fighter games? Work out the position for me. You take that controller, you put it on your leg. You hold one side of the controller. You get those 2 fingers ready.
Yeah,
or you a thumb person, and you just look, guys. Listen to the sound. we all know what that happens if this is a magnetic grip. And you're playing the game,
I'm scared of that.
You're about to smash that joint off the side. Mm-hmm. And this is why I'm scared of a magnetic grip. Yeah. This doesn't work. Or, hey, this is a child system. This is for kids.
Oh God, no. Oh God.
So we're talking about a magnetic grip, a magnetic connection. We talk about greasy hands. We talk about jelly or syrupy hands. This sounds like more problems. Yes, it sounds very easy just to take off, to put back on. Put on one of those little docking chargers at the grate. Cool. Who hasn't had the magnetic in their card shake out because of their phone in their pocket?
Well, listen, you're right. I will say, I'm just hoping that they have the money. Trust me, Nintendo got the money and the resources to put, because there are strong magnets in the world. There's magnets that can hold thousands of pounds of force, you know. So now, once again, will they implement that into the system? Who knows? But what I'm saying is, I do hope, because it's other than playing, or you know, sometimes people when they play handheld, and sometimes when they take a break or they're holding it by the Joy-Con, it just be hanging, like the gravity of the weight, just be hanging, like, you know. For those watching the video version, I'm showing y'all right now just how it just hangs like that.
Right.
That's
and
what I'm worried about.
This Switch 2 don't look light for it to do all it has to do for the size that it is, because listen, it's almost a tablet now. It's almost a tablet now.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
That science, guys. You can't hold it by just that magnetic grip, especially if it's the idea of a magnetic grip that you can easily attach and reattach. Yes, it got to be able to hold a level of strength, but that don't mean the force and gravity and weight and measurable force pulling down on it to torque and things. There will be problems. I hope that's not the case. We'll find out soon.
We'll find out soon. And that's basically what we can say all about the Nintendo Switch 2, because as most of all the stuff that they gave us, you guys can post down your comments down below if you're watching the video version of what you guys feel about Nintendo Switch 2. Come April 2nd, at least if guaranteed, if we still breathing, me and Quad are going to watch at the Direct. I can't speak for all my other, partners on Nerd Coalition, but I damn sure going to watch that. And we're going to see what it really can do. We'll come back here and we're going to sit there and discuss and things like that, what we think. And maybe even in another part of the podcast, we'll talk about what we think the launch times are going to be, or what games that we do want to see come to the Switch 2. So, that's what we're going to leave it at today. We're going to have to move on to some other things. But I'm excited for the Switch 2. I'm glad they finally revealed it. It's going to be a long 2.5 months, but you know what? We're going to blink. It's going to be there. So, stay tuned for more.